back to Kentucky River Reptiles. Today, Andrew and I went up to Columbus, Ohio for a reptile expo to bring home this beauty. Her name is Kanga. She is a sable conda, 100% het, albino, 66% possible het lavender. So she was the one that we went up to get today from Fathom Hogs. And ultimately we ended up bringing home 2 extras that we're going to add to our breeding program as well. But ultimately what that means is that we're going to be showing you how to set up temporary enclosures for our western hognose snakes. So to get started, I'm just going to put her up back into the deli that she came from. And we're going to make your home honey egg. Get in there. Alright, so this is what we're going to be setting up as our temporary bins today. These work indefinitely as long as they're appropriately sized for your animal, but this is going to be temporary for us. So first I'm going to start with a clean bin, and note that we have drilled holes in the sides, just very small drill bit, but this is just for breathing room. We put about 10 holes on each side. And then I'm going to be filling this up 1 to 3 inches with aspen shavings. Some people like to use something a little finer than what I'm going to be using today. I would honestly recommend it. Aspen does a really good job of holding the tunnels that hognoses like to do, but this is what we have, so we're going to be using the rest of it, and then we'll probably later switch to something else. But so for now, I'm going to be filling this up. I'm going to shoot for around 1 inch, and then we'll see how our hogs do with that. And then if they need more later for burrowing, then we can do that. So fill this up. Cameraman gets to do the cleanup, right?
No.
Alright. So I'm going to just do that. Nothing fancy. I'm putting a hide in here. Just make sure that it is a hide that's appropriately sized for your snake. This is going to be about right for Kanga. We do have one smaller snake that we're going to be setting up that I do have a smaller hide for. Here is where that's going to go, and then I always do a piece of slate. We literally just have a coaster that is slate. We order these off of Amazon. We like to drop feed if the snake doesn't take it immediately when we offer on toms as far as their prey item. So this is what we put in there to be able to drop feed on. I'm going to add just a little bit of enrichment. We have one snake that actually likes to use this almost like it's a second hide. He gets up under this and acts like it's a hide. He feels very well protected in there. So very, very simple setup. I'm also going to give them a toilet paper roll. A lot of hognoses really like tubes, so we're going to throw this in there. That's also enrichment, and it can also be used as a feeding mechanism whenever we drop feed. Some of our hogs really like to feed from inside of a tube. It's always something that you can try if your hog isn't eating, is to, instead of just drop feeding it or tongue feeding it, you can put it in the tube to drop feed, and that can work really well. So we always give our hogs a tube, and sometimes they just like to play in it. Other times we use it for feeding. So I'll put that down in there, and then we need a water dish. We did not get a water dish. Poof! I have a water dish. So I'm going to put a water dish down in here. We also order those from Amazon. They come in a 6-pack. They're just little dishes that we like, and that's pretty much it. So we have several more to set up, but very quick and easy. 1 to 3 inches of aspen. I would recommend starting with 1 inch. A hide, enrichment, toilet paper tube, kind of doubles as a feeding mechanism, but also as enrichment. A water dish, and if your hogs tend to drop feed, or you want the potential for drop feeding, you definitely don't want to put that straight down on the aspen because it'll get covered, the prey item would get covered. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to put Kanga down into her new temporary home, secure the lid, and move on to the next. Welcome home, girl. All right, I will also show you guys while we're already up close. These are the other two hognoses that we decided needed to be a part of the Kentucky River Reptiles family today. So definite impulse buys, but no regrets. This is Anna. If you haven't picked up on the theme yet, all of our snakes have Disney names. So we have a Kanga, and then this is Anna, for obvious reasons. She is going to also be a part of our Sunburst project. So Sunburst is sable albino, and that's exactly what she is. She's a beautiful representation of what a sunburst hognose looks like. We're very happy to have her. She is going to hopefully be ready for breeding next year, but we will have to see if she gains enough weight and if she's big enough without power feeding, of course. So she could be ready next year. She may take one more year. I'm gonna let her explore for a second. And then this is Olaf. And he is a boy. He is he had a poo in here. Thank you for staying out of it. How kind of you. He is a super Arctic visually, and then he is 66% possible het for sunburst. So that would be 66 possible het for sable and 66 possible het for albino. If both of those prove out, then he is, where are you going, girlfriend? If both of those prove out, then he can make babies that look like her, but are also Arctic. We also have another hognose that is exactly the same genetics. Her name is Elsa, and she is a visual super Arctic and is also 66% possible het for sunburst. So that might be his girlfriend. We'll have to see. But yeah, so these are the new members of the KRR family, and we're gonna get their homes set up. All right, so we have magically managed the poop that Olaf decided to gift us. So the last thing that you need to think about whenever you're doing any kind of enclosure, whether it be temporary or permanent, is heating. So hognoses on the warm side of their hide like to have a range anywhere between 85 to 95 is okay. We have thermostats on everything, which is an absolute must. You can't do anything with reptiles without having a thermostat to make sure you're doing what you think you're doing as far as heating. So this is what we use for our temporary bins. It's just a small heat mat that has an attached heat probe. And so what we do is, it's going to show you something different because it's showing you the actual temperature of this room. But this is the heat probe, and we set this to 90 degrees. We just shoot right for the middle. You put the heat probe right in the middle. Some people will even recommend that you tape this down. We put ours in an area where they're not having any possibility of getting foot traffic near them unless it's very intentional. So we don't have to worry about them being displaced, but just for the record, if this probe gets displaced, it will not know that it is out of place. So if you have it set to 90, this probe will be heat sensing and keep this at 90. It won't go up, it won't go down, it will keep it right at 90. That's the goal. But if this probe moves from under your bin, then your room is, say, 70. This heat mat is going to keep trying to raise the heat, and your probe is never going to go hotter. So it's just going to keep heating your snake, and that can cause burns and worse. So this is probably the most important part, is why I'm stressing this. Make sure that you get the heating right. So how we do it, again, small heat mat that takes up about half of the bin so that we can have a temperature gradient. And for our warm side, hognoses, Western hognoses specifically, like the heat on the warm side between 85 and 95. We shoot right in the middle at 90. Make sure you have a heat probe, place it in the center of the heat mat, and then we're going to place half of the bin on that. We can link the ones that we use down below. so that you can kind of see exactly what bins, what hides, what water dishes, and what heat mats we use. And we find that these work really well together. Okay, so that's everything you need to know about setting up a temporary hognose enclosure, and we're going to set up 3 more. So that's pretty much everything that you're going to need to know for setting up a temporary hognose enclosure. A lot of these same rules can be applied to permanent enclosures as well. But if you guys have any thoughts about future videos or questions about this one, please let us know down in the comments, and we will be linking everything that we used today. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.